of these fancy plastic cups.
So currently, no glassware in the brewery right now, but we have German Doppelbock, 7% ABV.
About 32 SRM and I want to say 22 IBU.
So a little bit darker. This is definitely multiple versions into this. So kind of starting with the history. Early on, the first year we were brewing, we for some crazy reason started brewing lagers right away. Tried to brew some pilsners.
I think that makes perfect sense.
All grain lagers. Right?
Yeah, all grain lagers.
Right. Gotta do.
Dumped a couple batches of pilsners down the drain, and then we came across this Doppelbock, this recipe, and started. We brewed it once, and then it was just so good. Before we even carbonated it, we were just drinking it out of mason jars, taking it fishing, and just like all over with us.
7%.
Yeah. Well, at that version was
breakfast.
Yeah, it was a little bit higher alcohol then. So then we tried to recreate that a couple of times, and there was on one of my birthdays. We had planned a brew day and completely forgot it was my birthday, but then ended up a couple days before, like, oh, well, I guess we'll just brew on my birthday. And so we, do this whole, we're in the basement, and then all of our friends show up, and taking shots and all this stuff, and we're brewing beer. And
this is going to come to a bad end, I can
well,
tell.
And then,
silver lining.
So we were doing step mashing at that time, but we were using our Blickman with the false bottom. So it just so happened that on raising temperatures, we raised it too high, got a little ambitious, and scorched the bottom. Got a pretty good chunk of burnt on the bottom. It was a good learning experience for us. And so lo and behold, bottle it up. We actually iced that, and just kind of we didn't want to keg the whole thing up, so we iced it. It was in the middle of winter, and then
so now you're distilling on top of it.
we bottled it up and brought it to a homebrew tasting, and that's kind of where Leah tasted that once, and we kind of under our breath, like, don't say anything about this. And
this is in Fond du Lac.
Yep.
Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. But this version though, it's
So wait, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that beer was good.
Yep.
That beer turned out nice. It ended up being like a smoked beer. It was like had that burnt character to it. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, like almost a leathery kind of thing.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad at all. Yeah.
And it was really surprising.
Bacony.
Yeah.
It was really surprising because the before we iced it too, it was a little. It wasn't
unpalatable.
Yeah, and then when we iced it, it was a little bit better because then the caramel malts came out a little bit more, and then kind of the richness. So
the challenge is to like replicate that.
Yeah, no, right.
How are you gonna do it? You gotta wait for your birthday to come around.
Yeah,
you gotta
right.
drink a
The
bunch of
timing
shots.
has to be perfect.
It'll never happen.
Never recreate the moment.
But this is excellent. This is really nice. So is this the final take on this?
Close to. So this one, there will be probably one more change to it. Unfortunately, on our brew day, we got time cut short. We only did an hour and a half boil. We did want to do 2 or 2.5 to get a little bit more caramelization as well as a little bit more alcohol. So with a brew day cut short, we only did an hour and a half.
Well, it's got that rich, like it's melanoidin rich. Well, Ian, you said it kind of was like molasses in a way.
Yeah,
it's got a bit of that.
And the grain bill on this, it's Pils, dark Munich. We use some aromatic malt, which is where you get a ton of that melanoidin character from. Some chocolate, and I think that's it. Oh, and some caramel 40. So I mean, which caramel is pretty not a very it's not a very traditional malt to use in box like this, but I think it came out really well. It's nice.
I think
it's
so
got
too.
a roasty character to it a little bit. Nice, some kind of caramely sweetness a little bit, but it finishes nice and dry.
It's really got that. You don't get like that German character in a lot of American beers, but this really has them. I think might have something to do with your malt.
Well,
base malts and
So we use all best malts on this one.
German
best
sourced.
malts, and that's kind of that's definitely our choice base malt grains, as well as some other European grains. So that definitely helps
really nice.
build a base for our recipes. And
not to go too far off in the weeds here, but like, what are you doing for water on this beer?
We just basically, with this being darker, a lot of our darker beers, we don't add any salts. We'll just adjust for pH, as Oshkosh water is pretty good for that, darker beers. That's something that we are digging more on. We do want to learn and teach ourselves more about water. That's
Especially
something we're a little inexperienced on.
with the hoppy beers too, it's going to become more and more important for us. So
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah, mostly for all of our beers, it's the initial pH adjustment, and then
No, this one really hits all the right marks, and like Oshkosh water is really good for this style
Yep.
of beer too.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, and like our stouts, some of our stouts, we don't even have to adjust, add any acid.
Right.
It just almost hits it on our imperial stout. So,
Right.
but a funny story with this one, we had mashed so much grain in the mash tun. This was a 3-hour mash. So we kept testing it, and it just kept showing black and black and black, and we're just like, come on. Finally added some more water, some of the sparge water to it, mixed it up, thinned it out a little bit. So we were running, I think it was about 2.5 liters per kilo, and that's pretty thick. Usually we'll shoot 3 to 4 liters per kilo. So then we kind of up that a little bit, and then it completely finished. So then it was about like a half an hour later after we added that water and then started sparging. So that was kind of one of the reasons too our brew day got cut short. So it was a little learning experience there.
Well, it wasn't your birthday, and you weren't drinking shots.
Yeah, that's true.
No, this turned out really good, man.
Cool, thanks.
All right, prost, guys.
gross.
Sweet glasses.
Hey, I win.
Yeah, clink.